So in this video, we are going to test the IP configuration and so we are going to ping these servers. So first of all, let's log in. And in the previous video, we set up the IP addresses. So in this, first of all we are going to so this one was not restarted. I'm going to just restart this, and this one is restarted. So we know the IP addresses. All we need to know is if they can ping each other. So most probably we can check it from one of them. So go to CMD, here this ping 192.168.10.12, and it's pinging, so which means the other server is available too. So and we'll try to ping 14. So ping test is fine. Now the next thing what we needed to do especially for these clusters, before I can move on setting up the failover cluster, let's install Active Directory on one of them. So I'm going to install Active Directory on this one, and these two will be failover nodes. So in order to install Active Directory, we need to add roles and features, and next, and we are going to name our so here we need to select AD features, and we are not going to select failover cluster here. And next, so I can select restart if required. So next, now what are we planning to do? Basically, we are planning to install Active Directory, and Active Directory name will be this one. So here 360cloud.local. So we are going to install this Active Directory. Now Active Directory needs to be installed on only one of them, and once the Active Directory is installed, then we can make these two actually join these two to Active Directory. So Active Directory actually is installed in two parts. So part one is that it will install all of the installation files. Once this is done, then we will see a flag, yellow triangle flag here, and then we need to configure Active Directory, which is known as promoting this to a domain controller. So I'll wait once this is finished, and then we can configure Active Directory. So part one is finished. Once you see this line, and here it says promote the server to a domain controller, or you can go to this flag and you will find exactly the same message. I'm going to click here and install Active Directory. So this one is a new forest, and our forest name is 360cloud.local, and this is our Active Directory name. Here we'll go to next. Now Active Directory Wizard may fail later on if you have not set up the administrator password, but we did in the beginning. This password is for restore mode Active Directory restore mode password. That is only required if you ever have to restore Active Directory. So if Active Directory is crashed and you're restoring it from the backup, then you are going to need the restore mode password. So our Active Directory name is 360 Cloud. And next, and done. So now it will install Active Directory, and once Active Directory is installed, then it will restart. Now here it is giving us an error message, and the error message is that there is no domain DNS IP address configured. So I will leave it as is, but I will go to Server Manager. In order to fix this, we need to go back to Server Manager here. So let me go to local server. We need to go to IP configuration. So in this case, we are going to go to this configuration and set up our DNS IP address. So just go to properties, and within IPv setting here, it needs an IP address. So it should be the same IP address for the same machine, especially on a domain controller. Once this is done, we can go back to our wizard. You can continue the wizard right from here if you click here, or you can go here and click. So here I'm going to press previous and see that if it recognizes, and it should recognize. Otherwise, I'll have to restart the machine and then restart this wizard. So yes, it did recognize. There are a few warnings. Warnings are not that important. So there was an error message. We fixed it, and now it will install Active Directory. So the wizard was completed, and what happens is as soon as the wizard is completed, the Active Directory configuration wizard, it restarts. So server is restarting by itself, and once it restarts and comes back, then we will log in. The first time when the server logs in after Active Directory, it takes the restart is a bit slow. The login is a bit slow because it is logging in based on Active Directory. And in the meantime, what we can do, we can prepare these machines to join them to Active Directory. So we will log into these machines here, and so what do we need to do? We need to basically, first of all, we need to make sure that they have DNS pointing to our Active Directory server, this server. So I'm going to go here, go to IP settings, and this once it comes back to local server, we will have to set up the IP address. So first of all, in order to join a computer to our domain, your DNS, you must have DNS server pointing to your domain controller. So domain controller is now this server where the Active Directory is installed. That server is known as domain controller. So in this, and this is our domain controller, the IP address of the first server, and we will go to the second one. And here we can go to properties on this server. So on this server here we can, so domain controller is set. This server is restarting in the meantime. So in order to join the server to domain, we need to click on the workgroup, and here go to change, and here we can type the domain name 360 cloud, and we will press OK once the server is properly started. So I'll just wait. So on this server, I'll make this ready to be part of the domain 360. So at this point, this server is applying setting. It is started. We should be able to join. It's just logging in. So I'll try to join in. So just click OK. And what it does, it is now sending requests to the server for the Active Directory. It might error out because the server is starting up for the first time after Active Directory. And on this server, so yeah, so it's not contacting, it's not able to connect to the server because it is just setting up. So once it is properly started, then we can again try and join it to the domain. So here it won't go anywhere at the moment. We need to just let it apply all the Active